Kira, after 15 years with TechVantage, we're restructuring your role, Marjorie Thompson announced, her voice edged with something that almost sounded like satisfaction. Across the table in the cramped conference room, Denise from HR sat beside her, both women wearing the practiced masks of corporate regret. The company's moving in a new direction, Denise added, sliding a manila folder toward me. You've made valuable contributions, but the research division is being folded into product development. I accepted the folder without opening it. I knew exactly what was inside: a severance package, 2 weeks pay per year served, 3 months of health coverage, and a list of career counseling resources I'd never touch. I understand completely, I said, my voice calm. Relief flickered across their faces. No tears, no anger, no protests. To them, I was just another 55-year-old woman quietly exiting an industry that worshipped youth. What they didn't realize was that I had been waiting for this day ever since a stray email landed in my inbox weeks ago. We'll need your desk cleared by Friday, Marjorie pressed on, emboldened by my composure. Please return your key card, laptop, and phone before you leave. Your team will be informed this afternoon. My team, 6 engineers I'd handpicked and mentored, the same group who helped me design the distributed processing algorithm behind TechVantage's flagship product, AccountSphere, now used by nearly half of the Fortune 500. Of course, I replied evenly, rising to leave. They exchanged a quick glance, unsettled by my lack of resistance. Back in my office, I walked past the glass-walled executive boardroom where CEO Victor Lawson gestured at a PowerPoint titled Q3 Revenue Projections, the same Victor who had stood on stage at last year's conference, boasting about his algorithm, my algorithm, while referring to me merely as a member of the research team. Closing my door, I pulled out my personal phone and sent a short message. It's happening. Friday is my last day. The reply came instantly. Perfect timing. Contracts are ready. Dinner tonight to finalize details. I smiled. Friday would be my last day at TechVantage. Monday, though, Monday would be the beginning of something much bigger. That evening, I met Gregory Sullivan, CEO of Precision Systems, TechVantage's fiercest competitor, at a secluded alcove in an upscale restaurant. They actually went through with it, Greg said, shaking his head. I thought they might, but to cut the very person who created their core technology? Victor never understood what he had, I replied, sipping my water. He saw the interface, the marketing pitch, but the architecture itself? That was just technical stuff. 3 months earlier, I'd discovered the company had never filed the patent for my algorithm. When I pressed, they brushed it off as an oversight. But digging deeper, I uncovered an internal memo, a plan to claim my work as a company asset, erase my name, and push me out. What they hadn't counted on was that I'd already begun refining the algorithm on my own time, on my own equipment. The improvements, boosting efficiency by 43%, were mine alone, outside any employment contract. I filed the patent under my own name, with airtight documentation. Thanks to Greg's introduction to a sharp IP attorney, the patent had already been granted. All set, Greg said now, sliding a folder across the table. Once you sign, Precision Systems will hold the exclusive license to your patent. Monday morning, we announce you as our new Chief Innovation Officer. I skimmed the documents one last time. 7-figure signing bonus, equity, royalties, my future, secured. And your team? I asked. Handled, Greg assured me. We'll take all 6 on senior contracts, with raises. I signed, closed the folder, and leaned back. In a single move, I had taken control of my legacy, safeguarded my people, and ensured TechVantage would pay dearly for underestimating me. Greg raised his glass, to new beginnings. I clinked mine against his, and to finally owning what's mine. The licensing terms were clear. Any company using my algorithm would now need to negotiate directly with Precision Systems. At 9:15 a.m., my phone buzzed with the first message from my old team at TechVantage. Complete chaos here. What did you do? Miguel, my lead developer. I smiled and replied. Check your personal email. 6 offers are waiting. 8 miles away, what should have been TechVantage's routine Monday executive meeting had devolved into a crisis summit. Miguel fed me a steady stream of updates, the general counsel and CFO ambushing Victor outside his office, board members dialing in from around the world, the legal team tearing through my files. Someone even wheeled in servers from the research division for forensic review. By 10:45, Victor himself broke the silence with an email. Kira, There appears to be a misunderstanding. Please call me as soon as possible to discuss. I forwarded it to Precision Systems' legal team without a word. By noon, the industry was buzzing. TechVantage's stock had dropped 7%, while ours at Precision Systems had climbed 12%. Journalists flooded my inbox with interview requests, eager to cover the coup. How does it feel? Greg asked, stopping by my new office. Validated, I said simply. 15 years of being sidelined and diminished, now erased in a single morning. My assistant appeared at the door. Dr. Jennings, the development team is ready for you, and TechVantage's CEO has called 4 times. Let him know I'm unavailable, I said. Our lawyers will be in touch later this week. As I headed to my first official meeting as Chief Innovation Officer, Miguel texted again. Board just called emergency session. Victor looks ready to explode. P.S. We accept your offers. When can we start? By Tuesday, the reality had sunk in at TechVantage. AccountSphere, their flagship product, was entirely dependent on my algorithm. Without it, they had 2 choices: pay Precision Systems to license the technology or rebuild from scratch. An impossible task without me or my team. Rumor is they'll try to sue you, Miguel warned. Our attorneys were unfazed. Let them. Your logs, timestamps, and independent development records are ironclad. Meanwhile, I was settling into Precision Systems with ease. Here, my voice carried weight. My experience was valued. When Greg briefed me on early tests showing a 51% performance boost from my refinements, I allowed myself a quiet smile. I never gave TechVantage my best work, I admitted. Their mistake, Greg said, our advantage. By midweek, clients were already defecting. 2 major firms contacted us about switching platforms. Precision stock surged another 8%. TechVantage's continued its freefall. That afternoon, Denise from HR called me, her voice brittle but professional. Kira, about the patent situation, perhaps there was a misunderstanding regarding ownership? There's no misunderstanding, I said. The agreement is explicit. Work developed on my own time, with my own equipment, is mine. The patent proves it. Victor was hoping. Any conversation goes through Precision's lawyers. I cut in. We can discuss licensing terms. Silence, then a resigned sigh. I'll pass that along. By Friday, TechVantage was in open crisis. Their stock had fallen 23% in a single week. Analysts were writing obituaries disguised as articles. Can TechVantage survive the algorithm crisis? Victor still tried to project control, insisting in all-hands meetings that they could rebuild AccountSphere in 6 months. Miguel's update made me laugh aloud. The original algorithm took me 3 years, I said, and I had intimate knowledge from day one. Miguel agreed. No one's buying it, especially after the whole team resigned together. That afternoon, TechVantage's lawyers finally reached out to Precision Systems. Our counteroffer was deliberate, triple the standard licensing fee and a public acknowledgement of my role as inventor. Greg leaned back, satisfied. The price they can swallow, but Victor admitting he forced out the creator of their crown jewel, that will destroy him. Then they can rebuild, I said calmly, and watch the clock run out. I replied, and every day they spend trying to replicate my work is another day we extend our lead in the market. The following Monday, 10 days after my unceremonious dismissal, I led the first meeting with my newly assembled innovation team, Miguel and the other 5 engineers from TechVantage. The room buzzed with energy as we mapped out the next evolution of my algorithm. This is how development meetings should be, Anita said, grinning. We spent half our time at TechVantage explaining basic concepts to executives who wouldn't listen anyway. That's the difference between being valued and being seen as replaceable, I replied. Here, your expertise is recognized. As the session wrapped, my assistant appeared. Dr. Jennings, there's been a significant development at TechVantage. Their board has announced an emergency leadership change. Victor Lawson is stepping down effective immediately. The news spread like wildfire. Industry publications reported the board's loss of confidence in Victor following the patent debacle. Marjorie Thompson and the head of legal, who had failed to secure the patent, were also out. That evening, an unexpected email arrived from Richard Donovan, TechVantage's newly appointed interim CEO. Unlike Victor's desperate message the previous week, this one was measured and respectful. Dr. Jennings, congratulations on your new position. I've been brought in to help TechVantage navigate the current situation. We would like to discuss a fair licensing arrangement for your patented technology. publicly acknowledging your contributions and addressing prior management oversights. Are you available next week? I forwarded it to Greg with a single note, Phase 1 complete. His reply came almost instantly, beautifully executed. The board is celebrating your first major victory for Precision Systems. Looks like TechVantage is finally learning the cost of undervaluing innovation and innovators. 3 months later, I stood on the stage at the National Technology Innovation Conference, preparing to deliver the keynote. The audience, industry leaders, journalists, aspiring developers, knew my story. And now, our keynote speaker, the organizer announced, Dr. Kira Jennings, Chief Innovation Officer at Precision Systems and creator of the distributed processing algorithm that has revolutionized data handling across industries. Applause filled the hall. Just a year ago, I had attended this conference as part of TechVantage's delegation, seated in the back while Victor presented his innovations. Thank you, I began, scanning the room. Today, I want to talk about innovation, ownership, and the importance of valuing intellectual contributions, regardless of where they come from. I detailed the technical aspects of my algorithm while highlighting the broader issues of recognition and respect in the tech industry. Without naming TechVantage, I emphasized the importance of protecting innovators rather than treating them as replaceable resources. After the talk, young women engineers approached me seeking mentorship. One confided, "Your story changed how I document my work. I now keep detailed logs on personal time." Smart, I replied. Your innovations deserve protection. Later, I checked my phone. TechVantage had officially announced a licensing agreement with Precision Systems, publicly acknowledging me as the algorithm's creator. Their stock stabilized, significantly lower than before, but recognition had finally arrived. 1 year to the day after being told to clean out my desk, I sat in my spacious Precision Systems office, reviewing the quarterly innovation report. Under my leadership, we had released 3 groundbreaking products built on my algorithm, capturing market share from TechVantage and competitors alike. A knock interrupted me. Greg entered, holding a bottle of champagne and 2 glasses. "Happy anniversary," he said, placing the glasses on my desk. "The board wanted you to hear it first. Precision Systems has officially surpassed TechVantage in market valuation, for the first time in company history." I smiled quietly. That's what happens when you value innovation properly. As Greg poured, my assistant handed me a sleek envelope. Inside was an invitation to speak at Women in Technology's annual leadership summit, Owning Your Intellectual Value, How Proper Documentation Changed an Industry. "You've become something of an icon," Greg said. "The story of the executive who didn't recognize what she had until it was gone is now a cautionary tale in boardrooms everywhere." Richard Donovan, now TechVantage's CEO, had implemented sweeping reforms in how the company recognized and rewarded innovation, modeled on the system we established at Precision Systems. "It was never about revenge," I said, raising my glass. "It was about recognition, showing the industry that innovation comes from real people who deserve real credit." "To proper recognition," Greg said, clinking his glass with mine. As sunlight streamed through the office windows, I reflected on the journey. At 56, I had finally achieved what had eluded me for decades, not just success, but acknowledgement. My name was permanently attached to the algorithm that had transformed an industry, exactly where it belonged.